Hello there everyone and welcome to this Star Wars Vintage Collection action figure review. You're watching Green Cardback, my name is Joe and today we're taking a look at the Star Wars Vintage Collection VC227 Kuiil by Hasbro. Kuiil was the gruff heart of the Mandalorian Season 1, with his talents and sense of purpose proving essential to Mando's victory against Moff Gideon and the Imperial Remnant. Now Kuiil did get his first 3.75 inch action figure just over a year ago in the Star Wars Retro Collection, but fans had to wait until the start of this year to get the Ugnaught in the Vintage Collection. Was he worth the wait? Let's find out. And here is Kuiil off of the card. He stands at about 2 3/4 inches and comes resplendent in various shades of green and brown. The sculpt work is nice, with his clothes looking textured and fitted without looking overdone. There's a bit less detail on the back of the figure, and you can see the small hole which is where we'll plug in his backpack. This fits securely into place and it looks awesome when it's on. It really adds to Kuiil's stature. Even with his neck scarf removed, which you can do by popping off his head, Kuiil still looks good. His proportions are, well, I was going to say spot on, but I'm not sure how proportioned an Ugnaught should be. I'm just going to say that the design works. Here's a closer look at Kuiil's head so you can see just how good this sculpt is. The photoreal face printing looks incredible in hand. It really does seem like Kuiil has just wandered off of the screen and into a vintage collection. Even for a character of such short stature, the Vintage Collection Kuiil comes loaded with articulation. You get a double ball jointed neck post and swivel hinges at his shoulders, elbows and wrists. He has got a ball joint at his waist, but this can be restricted by the backpack. Like the Vintage Collection Bo-Katan, he has a new style ball jointed hips, then an upper thigh swivel hinged knees and ankles, and finally ankle rockers. It's great to see another new figure with ball jointed hips, as this is a huge improvement over the swivel hinges that Hasbro was using before. With this much articulation, the Vintage Collection Kuiil is an absolute pleasure to pose and futz around with. For accessories, Kuiil comes packed with a blaster rifle, his backpack, and a removable neck scarf. The blaster rifle looks great, with both brown and bronze paint apps highlighting the details in the sculpt. It fits snugly into Kuiil's right hand, and with the strap it can be slung over his shoulder as well. Thanks to his excellent articulation, you can also get Kuiil into a comfortable two-handed weapon grip. The backpack looks good. It's a simple shaded brown with silver painted details for a couple of canisters. And then finally, we've got Kuiil's neck scarf. Again, it's a simple brown plastic, but it's got a detailed sculpt and a really nice texture. It does impede Kuiil's neck joint a little when it's on, but aesthetically it looks so good that, in my view at least, the pros outweigh the cons. Let's move on to the comparison shots. I'm really gutted that I don't have a Vintage Collection IG-11 to hand for this segment, as I've just moved house and still haven't been able to dig him out. Here you can see Kuiil next to a Vintage Collection VC227 Mandalorian, as Mando appeared when he first met the Ugnaught. Here he is next to his neighbour, the VC227 Arvla 7 Off-World Jawa. Here he is next to a VC184 Grogu. And finally, here is Kuiil next to a Vintage Collection VC165 Remnant Stormtrooper. In my view, Kuiil is one of the characters that helped to make Season 1 of The Mandalorian so special, and I admit to shedding a tear when he met his untimely fate. Even so, I was underwhelmed with the Retro Collection release, and when seeing the Vintage Collection version on the card, I wasn't that excited about cracking him open. How wrong I was. This should be a boring toy, but it is incredibly playable with great articulation, amazing paint apps, and a general vibe of fun, and he makes a welcome addition to a Mandalorian Vintage Collection display. That is all I've got for you this time. Have you got the Vintage Collection Kuiil? Do you agree with my glowing appraisal of the figure? Let me know what you think down in the comments. Otherwise, check out this playlist for more Vintage Collection videos, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you next time for more Star Wars action figure reviews.